Hello, everybody. I'm a practicing therapist and a doctoral student of psychology. Today, I want to talk about the friend zone. Avoidants, many of them, not just female avoidants, male avoidants do this too. Female avoidants do it more often, right? This is true. I'm not going to say it's not. Is they will say you're friends even though you're in a relationship. There are a couple dynamics to this. Sometimes it could be after you broke up, they still stay friends with you and it's basically a relationship, just without the label or the potential of you rejecting them again. That's one case. The other case is that by saying that you guys are just friends, you, not that you would, will not pressure them to, in fact, pressure for more commitment, love, marriage, children, etc. And so friend zone is actually them controlling the pace. It's nothing more than that. And a lot of people get triggered by the word friend. Oh, we're not lovers. Well, they want you to think that way, not consciously, not in a manipulative way. It's almost like they're thinking, they're almost in some sort of denial themselves. But there's another concept to this too, and I'm going to try and expand upon it, and then we'll get into the points. Another case of this is also that sometimes they feel like it's not fully a relationship because they are not fully vulnerable and they're afraid they'll give you the wrong idea, which means they love you, they care about you, everything. They just don't want to hurt you. And so they say friends so you don't think that means they're going to be like a secure guy or secure girl. They're just afraid of that. Really, that's all it is. But if you can accept them and say, I don't mind, this relationship is still good for me, they'll be okay with saying girlfriend, boyfriend, etc. Okay. And so let's talk about why this happens. What I want to do is format it like this. Each common version of why that I see booking with my consulting calls, the calls I've had with you, and also in therapy, each version as to why and then how to resolve it instead of doing it like I want to do it one by one so it can help you and kind of pick up with what's happening here because each of them are pretty specific. And if I put it all at the end, it's going to confuse you. So they fear rejection from you. This is more common with fearful avoidance. They fear that the emotions that they share, that they love you, etc., will cause some form of rejection and it will destabilize their very, very particular life. Okay? And they can't control it. So for a dismissive avoidant, they might think, well, if I do love you and maybe you don't love me, that's just going to throw off my routine. Not in such a simple way, but truly some of them will think that way. Whereas a fearful avoidant might think, I can't handle that right now. I just can't. I can't handle it. It'll just make things more difficult. I don't want to hear it. They are already anticipating potential rejection. Or they might feel like if I do love you and it, fails in the long run, I'm going to have to deal with that. And so instead, what they decide is, I'm not going to say anything. It's my decision. That's what they think. It's my decision. I'm not even sure if I love you. Maybe I do, but I'm not comfortable with the word yet. And so they feel like they're in control. They're in the driver's seat. So what do you do if this is your case? Discuss or show ways that you care, that build trust so that they don't feel like they're rejected without using the word love. Some of them are okay with the word love. Some of them are not. You don't have to use it right away. You can wait a little bit longer, and we can talk about it if you want to book a call with me when that time is best for you. However, every case is different. But let's talk about ways to show love, care. There's ways to show love and care. You can make them some food. You can do a favor for them. You can ask them for a favor. Male avoidants like this. If you say, could you do this for me? And they do it for you and you appreciate and praise them, they feel like they showed you they were doing well for you. They did good for you. Female avoidants, what they might like is if you say something that if you help them in some way. Let's say, for example, a female avoidant is struggling with something. They don't want to admit it. They don't want to show that emotion. You can say, by the way, if you ever want to talk about it or if you need space, I'm here for you. And they might say, yeah, I'm okay. I don't need that. But you saying that shows that you care. It's very comforting to them because they realize you accept them for the way they are. It's very important. The next one is control and their behavior of being rigid, okay? This is probably one of the more common reasons why avoidants put you in the friend zone, okay? They often desire to control the relationship. They prefer to dictate the terms and pace. If you ask an avoidant, they might not know. But definitely I've had cases, not giving anyone specifically, right? No one in specific. But what they often do is they might say something like, for example, they might say, well, I want to be with this girl, I want to be with this guy, but I want it to be on my terms. I'm afraid that they'll pressure me. They will say that, and that's okay. And so what happens is they actually, they will give love, but they just don't want the label. What you can do is reciprocate those acts of love and build rapport, and you want to slowly prompt for more closeness. This is very, very important. Slowly prompt for more closeness, okay? Slowly prompting can just be very simple, such as maybe after a couple months, you can say, hey, are you okay with doing this? Are you okay with hugging longer? Do you think that we could start cuddling while watching TV? Build promptness, but when they give love, just reciprocate it, okay? The next one is fear of disappointment. This is very common, where they might feel like if they admit they love you and they commit to you, and then maybe you're just not happy and you're thinking, well, this is such a different relationship. All my other relationships were never like this. And they will feel like, oh, that stings. There's something wrong with me. And they know that they can't fully be there yet. They do know. A lot of them do know, indirectly or directly, and they're afraid to hear that. And so what you can do is communicate. You're not expecting a lot. You appreciate them the way they are. And you can even say, depending on the rapport, you can even say something like, I know the way you are. You understand I'm okay with that, right? I know I'm not going to judge you. I'm here with you because I like you. They feel good about that. And that helps them to feel like, okay, so you're not going to be disappointed, or if you are, you're still going to be reasonable about it. Very important. You're going to be reasonable. And that makes a big difference for them. And the next one is much more common with female avoidance. It does happen with male avoidance, but this one is particularly common with female avoidance. They're protecting the bond. Okay. And so they almost feel like relationships end all the time. Love is not anything important. Love will leave. If we get married, you could divorce me, you can resent me, etc. They think friendship is more lasting because then you never have to deal with heartbreak. You never have to deal with loss. And so what they actually believe is that they won't lose you by keeping you as a friend. And so they keep you and treasure you. Now, this is very important because this one, you might not fully agree with this, what I'm going to tell you to do, but it's usually the best way to navigate this. What you can say is, you will never lose me. Or even if you don't feel this way, but just hear me out, you can say, even if we break up, I'll always be your friend. I'll never hold animosity towards you. This will resolve a lot of their fears. It might not happen right away, but them knowing that this is true can really make a difference, okay? The next one is external pressure, okay? They might love you, but they're afraid what it would cost them. So an example, if y'all are coworkers, they might actually feel like, can I lose my job? And so what you can do is a couple things. If possible, you can address it directly. This one, I would say, depends on the timing, but it's important that maybe this is a conversation to be had sooner rather than later. You can say, by the way, is this happening because we are coworkers? Are you afraid of this? And they can say, yeah, I'm a little uncomfortable. You can say, okay, we can review that together. How can we manage it so we can meet in the middle, right? Because there is something that's bothering them. And by you finding that out, it can really help. You might even say, do you think our friendship, you don't even have to say our love. You can say, do you think is our friendship causing issues at work? Are you afraid that if our friendship turns into something more, or we become deeper friends, deeper relationship, whatever it might be, it may affect something? Do you want to talk about it? They might be more open to that, okay? And that demonstrates the strength that you have, the complexity and the maturity in these conversations. I hope this video is helpful to somebody. Please like, subscribe. I'll see you in the next one.